is hydrogenated fats.
Or trans fat.
Trans fat. As a trans fat ban goes.
Trans fats.
Should trans fats be banned from food? It's an important question, but first, what exactly is a trans fat?
Don't you kiss me once or twice and say it's very nice and then you run. Little sister, don't you do what your big sister done. Well, I dated your big sister and I took her to a show. I went for some candy.
Trans fat comes from a mixture of vegetable oil and hydrogen gas. Hydrogenated oil is cheaper and lasts a lot longer than other cooking oils.
Calorie for calorie, trans fat is the worst thing that's in our food supply.
Experts estimate trans fat kills 30,000 Americans a year. The government says consumers should limit their intake to no more than 2 grams of trans fat per day and eliminate it completely if possible.
Say, Crisco makes pie crust real flaky.
Real good.
For real flaky pie crust, trust digestible, all-vegetable Crisco.
Crisco will do you proud every time.
Every time I see your sister, well, she's got somebody new. She's mean and she's evil like that little old Mo Evil. Guess I'll try my luck with you. Little sister, don't you? Little sister.
My mother never serves me things I'll hate, like greasy tasting cold fried chicken.
Lillian, this chicken doesn't taste greasy.
Really?
I fried with Crisco. Doesn't add greasy taste. So, everything tastes delicious.
Even cold.
Digestible, too.
All-vegetable Crisco. Special protection against greasy taste. Food doesn't taste greasy, even cold.
I'll eat your chicken anytime.
Anytime you're asked, Lillian.
New York City recently announced that it banned artificial trans fats at restaurants. Mayor Michael Bloomberg said, quotes, "Nobody wants to take away your French fries and hamburgers. I love those things too. But if you can make them with something that's less damaging to your health, we should do that," close quote. And that's what's being done. Beginning January 1st, 2007, trans fats have been outlawed in cooking oils used in New York City restaurants. And as of July 1st, 2008, trans fats will be banned from all New York City restaurant food.
Beginning Tuesday, that may be the case in New York City as a trans fat ban goes into effect. Bakers say they are trying to find substitutes for the artery clogging oil.
It's going to affect us really big and everything because we've been trying to experiment with zero trans fat, and we find that has a tendency of changing the color of the product, changing the texture of the product. You don't have the same taste that you want there anymore. So, I mean, it's going to affect us in a big way.
Chefs say it's the trans fat that makes their pie crust flaky, their crackers crispy, and their muffins moist. And then there's the bread.
It'll change the color of the bread. It has a tendency of drying it out faster. And also, if you see like some loaves of bread and everything, they're nice and puffy. Now you're taking that out, it's going to look a little more flatter, the bread.
Dunkin' Donuts got rid of trans fats last October, and at least one customer says the donuts are still yummy.
Yeah, donuts and all. I don't see nothing different change. No, all the same.
Health officials say the ban is necessary because trans fats seriously affect cardiovascular health. Besides, there is a demand for zero trans fat foods.
Some bakers are excited about this because their customers want it. You know, and I think that we have to remember at the end of the day, yeah, there's some trouble involved. There's looking for new product, there's stocking new product, there's, you know, tinkering with recipes. But at the end of the day, this is a big health win.
And along with that big health win, fans of baked goods don't have to worry too much. Many of the city's bakeries say it's been a struggle to replace the trans fats, but after months of experimenting, a lot of those super sweet indulgences will still satisfy your sugar craving without sacrificing the flavor or texture you've come to know and love.
Trans fat. Last Friday, California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger signed a law banning the artery-clogging fat in restaurants. It is the first state to ban the substance. Cities like New York, Boston, and Philadelphia have already taken the fat out of the fryer. Here now, registered dietitian Carrie Glasser with more on this. Carrie, good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
For most folks who are hearing this word trans fat over and over again, they don't know what it means. Exactly what is trans fat?
Trans fat is the chemical process that takes vegetable oil in liquid form and turns it into solid form.
Okay, how bad is it?
It is terrible for you. Yeah. We know that saturated fat is bad for your LDL cholesterol, your bad cholesterol. Trans fat not only increases your bad cholesterol, but it decreases your good HDL cholesterol. So it's a double whammy.
Okay, we know we can find it in French fries. And what surprised me is all these items on the table, right, contain trans fats?
All these items contain it. In 2006, food labels were required to write trans fat on the label. So sometimes you'll see 0 grams trans fat, but if there's less than 0.5, they don't have to include it in the label.
And a recent law requires that packaged food be labeled for trans fat so people can know what they're eating.
Consumers should be aware that not all products have trans fat on the label yet.
Because of increased pressure from the public, some restaurants have parted ways with their trans fat loaded cooking oil.
Tonight, a 7 on Your Side investigation into Montgomery County's ban on trans fats. We'll give you something to chew on.
Yeah, Ross McLaughlin took food samples to the lab to put the county's ban to the test and made some surprising discoveries, right, Ross?
Well, yeah, we sure did. Garden fries? Would like one? Caroline? Yeah. You know, sometimes you just can't resist, even though we try to be healthy and watch that belly fat. And that's why Montgomery County put a ban in place to ban those artificial trans fats. Now, its heart's in the right place, but we revealed there's more that can be done to protect yours.
That is weird. That's crazy.
She's talking about what's in these fries. And how do we know? We have them tested, and they are loaded with trans fat. But how can that be? Look at the sign. Well, first stop, come with us as we take a trip around Montgomery County, popping in and out of restaurants, buying onion rings, fries, chicken, everything that should contain no artificial trans fat because of this. Montgomery County's law passed last January. No artificial trans fat allowed for frying or in spreads. That's why we took our samples to the Center for Science in the Public Interest. Behind this door, they've been instrumental in breaking down the fat because artificial trans fat can increase the risk of coronary heart disease. Overall, the restaurants we tested passed. Hamburger Hamlet, fine. Burger King, fine. McDonald's, Ruby Tuesdays, Panda Express, Chick-fil-A, all met the standards. But Dr. Michael Jacobson says one place needs to do a whole lot more to trim the fat. Popeyes, chicken and biscuits.
The most shocking example is Popeyes. If you go to Popeyes and order French fries, split it with half a dozen friends.
Why? Here's what we found. These Popeyes fries had 2.9 grams of trans fat. That's 6 times more than what the county allows for artificial trans fat. And that's the catch. Popeyes is not breaking the law. The trans fat we discovered is naturally occurring because they cook these fries in beef fat.
I think it's sad that Popeyes hasn't gotten the message yet.
The message? To get restaurants to switch to healthier oils. Popeyes advertises it's not using artificial trans fat, but that doesn't mean their frying oil is the healthiest choice. These large fries had 20 grams of saturated fat. That's as much as the nutritional guidelines say you should consume in an entire day.
It should be an easy fix. If McDonald's can do it, Burger King, they've all switched their frying oils.
Hi, I'm Ross from 7 on Your Side. So we asked Popeyes why they're using beef fat. The local manager couldn't tell us, but their corporate spokesperson says they try to find a happy balance between the flavor profile our customers enjoy, as well as concerns about nutritional elements, and that they evaluate this process from time to time. Well, perhaps some consumers were unaware because of this sign, and that's why we had to ask what they were using to fry, and why you should too.
I won't be eating their fries anymore.
Well, just eat less, that's what she should do. Well, the jury is still out about natural trans fat found in beef and dairy products. One study suggests that natural trans fat is beneficial, but another suggests it's more harmful than artificial trans fats.
No trans fat. That means the product is healthier than it used to be, right? Wrong. Most of the products that say trans fat free have added in other junk like partially hydrogenated oil, sugar, or calories.
they're really starting to trick a lot of people because everyone thinks that a trans fat-free food is a healthier choice.
We took a walk through a local grocery store with a registered dietitian from Methodist Medical Center to compare the products with trans fat and the ones marketed trans fat-free.
It's clearly trans fat-free does not mean fat-free, does not mean heart-healthy food.
Take these two Lunchables for example. The one labeled low fat is probably a little bit better for you, right? Wrong. Turn the packaging over and you get a big shock. The low fat package has no trans fat, but it has more calories and more than 40 grams of sugar.
Well, sister, don't you do what your big sister does.